We have Frank Kuntz with us today. With so many emails coming in and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn and all the social medias, people asking us, which agency does Frank belong to? Like, who represents him as an actor? I just wanted to clarify things with the audience, telling them that Frank was not an actor. He is an actor now. I want the audience to know who you are um, as a person, what your life had been before Vanishing Knowledge.
I'm 70 years old, so I got a lot of experience in life. And where do I start? My father, my brother Leo, my uncles, a number of my uncles, uh, my grandfather. They're whether it be World War One, World War Two, or Korean War, they were all vets, and so it was the right thing to do, for a young 19-year-old kid. And at the time, I couldn't quite meet the requirements in college as far as grades to keep me out of Vietnam. And then the lottery came about, and so I just volunteered draft.
Family and your parents were okay with you doing that?
No, I mean, my parents weren't happy. And that was when I left, to go to Vietnam that night. I never seen my father really cry about anything. I saw him cry about he borrowed a bunch of money from one of my mother's brother. He was doing quite well. He was living in St. Paul. He was an engineer. Borrowed some money, buy some cattle. Then we had a nasty, nasty blizzard, and he lost most of them. And I saw him cry there. But when I left for Vietnam, I saw him cry, and but I just assumed that was because I knew where he was. He knew where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
He had been to war. He knows. He was in World War II, so he knew what it was like.
So, Frank, now at this point, you are in Vietnam. Could you tell us a little bit about what was your reaction? What was going on there? Were you a believer of the war? Were you not?
When I stepped off that plane in Saigon, and my senses, the first thing they smelled was, and Vietnam vets, so they know this smell and they'll never forget it. And that's burning human manure and diesel fuel, and you'll never forget that smell. So that was my first impression, the humidity and that smell. And so after that, I guess it kind of went downhill. Going by this village, and there was a woman. She was sitting there, and she looked totally oblivious to us. I mean, she just wasn't paying any attention, even though we were laughing. And she was sitting there just crying and just cradling parts of her baby in her arm. And I mean, people are people, and that just affected me a lot. I couldn't understand it.
Parts of a baby. What do you mean?
Well, parts. I mean, you could see her little hands, parts of her feet. Something that's been hit by the village was hit the night before or whatever. I mean, so just parts of a baby. And that's probably why I got addicted on heroin, because it numbed you. It just really, really numbed you. And maybe I thought I needed that numbness.
Tell me what happened when you came back from Vietnam?
You know, you were a loser. You didn't win the war. And baby killers, some of them were called. I mean, when my brother Leo, I mean, got shot up. He was over there 3 months, and he was medevaced to Japan and then to Fitzsimmons Hospital in Denver. When he's being unloaded on a stretcher, off the military plane and to go to the hospital, people are protesting, calling baby killers, throwing fruit and crap and stuff at him. You were losers.
So you lived your life for the country, and when you come back, you are called the loser. How did that make you feel?
It did make me feel very proud because, like I said, number one, I'm not a proud veteran. I'm not proud of what I became. I'm not proud of what I did when I was there. I'm just not proud of the human being I became, and I wasn't proud of what this country did. But I've lost my life before, but it was hard to deal with, but I guess you just have to deal with it. It's part of your life.
How did you deal with it when you came back? Did you come back home? What did you do?
You didn't want to be numb anymore. And then when Leo and I and we fell across these horses because we grew up around horses, been around horses all our life, and plus the fact that I think the fact that we're classified as losers, and these horses have been through so much, almost eradicated at one time. We had a cause to fight for. We had something that needed to be righted, and even though it was against the federal government, you're fighting the national park and Department of the Interior, and the horses couldn't speak for themselves, and I kind of related to Vietnam, where I didn't understand the language and the people, but they were people. They had feelings. They had emotions.
And how did you stumble upon the Nokota horses?
Well, it was kind of by accident. I mean, my family, my brothers, sisters, competed in we had horses all our lives, and competed one way or the other. But we were doing a cross-country horse race called the Great American Horse Race. And, we were running some of these thoroughbred quarter horse type that a lot of other people were using. And they got to that 8-9 years of age when they should have been in their prime. They were breaking down. And Brother Leo spent a lot of time out in the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. And so we were just originally looking for something to prove the bone and the hoof on our competition horses. And that's how we originally got into them. And it was the same time frame when the Theodore Roosevelt National Park decided to change the genophenotype of that horse. And what they did was they introduced domestic bloodlines and went about to change that horse. And so it was, I kind of related a lot of that to my experience in Vietnam, dealing with people that I didn't look as people when I first got there, but dealing with people whose language and history I didn't understand or know and didn't care to know, and so they weren't important, but these horses became part of that I don't know. It just became part of my life and Leo's life, and try to make a unjust thing right.
I'm going to jump and fast forward. Now, years have passed. You came back, I believe you were 21, 22. Tell us what happened when you met Ejaz.
There's certain people I just kind of, I like that person. I respect that person. So the first time I met Ejaz, I didn't know him, but I had that feeling about him.
I want to know what you felt on your first scene, the first time I said action.
It's why I like these horses so much. We got into them by accident, but they have such an honest, upfront communication, and when you have communication with people like that, it makes life easier, interesting, more challenging. One more take, I promise. Just one more take, just for safety. So, but yeah, it's been a learning experience, and I've been fortunate in my life with a lot of people, but I've been very happy that I've met you in my life, and I look forward to doing more projects.
Not being in the industry, being in front of a camera with dialogues and scenes and acting, how did you make it look and feel so natural? What went through your mind? Because that would help the newcomers coming in. Uh, what?
Because I had some very good guidance.
Well, thank you for that. But
Well,
you did the job. So, what were you thinking in terms of like what can another actor feel or do or practice?
like I said, I never wanted to be an actor, and you helped me do it. I mean, I had you guided me, you encouraged me.
That it's the trust. For me, it was 100% trust, and I trust you, and I trust um, the people that were there with me, supporting me. I believe I know it's a team effort, and I think that the most difficult job there was the actors, which were you guys. It was pointing the camera at you and asking you to perform.
You know, even though it was tiring and hard and early mornings and later into the days, but it was a learning experience, and I enjoyed it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing the results.
Yes, I hope to make you proud of the entire team, myself included. Um, as far as I'm concerned, I think we've hit gold. So we will be showing this to the audience. We made this film out of nowhere. We didn't know we were making a film. We thought we were making a documentary. It turned into a film, and it turned into what it has turned into. So people are asking, who are these people? Are they actors? Are they not actors?
I just remind everybody I'm a non-actor.
All right, Frank. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Give my regards to the crew
I will.
and the family.